Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm gonna kill you. I'm a Jew. I'm gonna take your life if you don't let me out of here.
Just talk again. I'll have my court officer put a piece of duct tape in your mouth.
What do you want? What's your pleasure? What do you want from me?
And you're gonna shut your mouth or I'm gonna have some duct tape for you.
If you don't let me out of here, I'm gonna kill you.
You wanna take my kids from me and act like that? You in that?
You wanna be in the room or not?
Do you wanna suck my?
I'd prefer not to, sir.
Well, you got a mouth for it.
Courtroom, man. This is courtroom. It's someone.
The court determines.
I'm gonna take your life if you don't let me out of here.
This is 41-year-old Juan Rodriguez, who was accused of attacking a woman with a knife in Miami, Florida. A week earlier, Rodriguez allegedly stabbed nurse Nadine Morris at a mental health facility he was residing in after accusing her of theft. Now, facing an attempted murder charge, Rodriguez appeared before Judge Brice Rhodes, where things went off to an explosive start.
You can't make me Simon when I talk to her. You
Oh,
gotta
we're
get
doing
out
out of turn. Sorry about that. Didn't give you a heads up.
1 second. He cannot be there when I talk to you.
What is it?
This guy cannot be there when I talk to you.
Oh, it's him. I thought it was the public defender.
No, I don't need him.
As Judge Butchko ignored his request, Rodriguez became irate.
Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm gonna you. I'm a Jew. I'm gonna take your life if you don't let me out of here. Okay? I'm done.
So
Now let's eat breakfast. The is cooking.
After dropping a bombshell, the defendant attempted to walk away. When brought back, Rodriguez once again demanded to be released from prison and continued threatening the judge.
What do you want?
appropriately.
What's your pleasure? What do you want from me? Where's Sabina? Where the is she?
Finding probable.
What's her phone number?
Okay.
If you don't let me out of here, I'm gonna kill you.
Cool as a cucumber, Judge Butchko seemed uninterested and eventually denied him bond.
Setting no bond. Okay. Thank you, corrections. Probable cause, no bond. Appoint the public defender.
While Juan Rodriguez spent a night in jail after threatening a judge, what happens when a defendant's threats earn them a felony charge? Like in the case of 27-year-old Tobias Roman, who is facing armed robbery charges in Bakersfield, California.
The charges, Mr. Roman, are attempted robbery, threatening with the intent to terrorize, exhibiting a deadly weapon other than a firearm.
3 days earlier, Roman was arrested after he allegedly tried to rob an employee at Valley Plaza Mall and threatened to kill her with a knife. Today, Roman was facing Judge Charles R. Bremer, and right off the bat, things went off to a rough start.
Roman, stand up.
My foot hurts. I can't stand up right now.
Yeah.
I'm right here. Giggle.
Stand up, Roman.
What?
After the defendant was on his feet, the judge started proceedings.
Mr. Roman, what is your true and correct name?
Tobias, my first name. That's it. Giggles or Tobias. That's it. Don't call me nothing else.
At this time, I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Roman. The charges, Mr. Roman, are attempted robbery, second degree. Hey, Mr. Roman, you need to be quiet.
Yeah, you need to be quiet.
Judge Bremer gave Roman a final warning, but the defiant defendant refused to budge.
You got one more chance, and then you're going to be removed from the courtroom. And that'll be your choice.
Don't talk. Go ahead.
All right. You need to leave.
Then, while he was being removed from the courtroom, Roman had one final comment for the judge.
Like I noted for the record, Mr. Roman's statement on the record that he will me if he sees me, and I'm going to request law enforcement to take the appropriate action.
Tobias Roman was later charged with threatening a public official and sentenced to 8 months in prison. While a defendant threatened to murder the judge, how does it compare to bringing a weapon to court?
Put the axe down.
On April 8th, 2024, a man walked into the Cibola County Courthouse wielding an axe. He was later identified as 65-year-old John Karl O'Brien. Upon arriving in court, O'Brien had allegedly threatened to kill District Court Judge Amanda Sanchez Villalobos. Thankfully, police arrived before the suspect could do any damage.
Put the axe down. Step away from it. Step away from it. Let me see your hands. Get down on your knees. Do not move. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? If you move, it will not be good for you. Okay?
O'Brien's actions had sent the whole court into lockdown.
All these doors are locked. So just let me know. Keep me updated.
Yes, there's an individual that I told you about. So we're good for right now, but keep it locked down.
Ultimately, Karl O'Brien was charged with first-degree attempted murder and threatening a judge. He currently awaits trial. While an axe-wielding suspect was apprehended just in time, how does it compare to threatening to find out a judge's whereabouts?
I'm going to keep talking because I don't want to have to see you back here for this.
Where you live at?
So you're saying you're going to find out where I live at?
In the case of Brice Rhodes, who was facing multiple murder charges in Louisville, Kentucky.
Your job is not to worry about me. Your job is to do your job. And his job, his job is to worry about. Your job is to do your job, not to worry about me. That's what I'm saying. Well, I worry about me.
In May 2016, Rhodes and two of his accomplices, 15-year-old Anjuan Carter and 17-year-old Jacory Taylor, allegedly stabbed and tortured two teenage brothers to death. The bodies of 14-year-old Larry Ordway and 16-year-old Maurice Gordon were found in an abandoned lot.
It looks like they're deceased and they've been burned.
Those are kids. Those are kids. And it hasn't been that long. Because there's some shoe prints right here, too. There's some good shoe prints, too.
Rhodes was arrested and interrogated, where he initially denied any wrongdoing.
Where they run away to? Like,
well, if we knew that, man, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I wish I could help. Know where they was, you know. I don't.
But one of his accomplices, Anjuan Carter, confessed to the police.
He made Maurice on his knees and like begged for forgiveness.
Carter said Rhodes tied up the two brothers, gagged them, and then stabbed them.
He tied him up. Tied him up or something. He tied his brother up. He made his brother sit in the bathroom. He made Maurice on his knees and like begged for forgiveness. And like he put a toboggan over his head and he put a rag in his mouth. And then he stabbed him. We moved Maurice to the side and we brought his brother and we put the toboggan over his head. He put the toboggan over his head and put the sock in his mouth. And like started stabbing him too.
He then described how Rhodes disposed of the bodies.
What happens next? He puts them in crates. Put them in crates. Like you know, things that you put clothes in.
Carter also claimed he and Taylor were forced to be involved in the killings.
He made us stab him.
He made y'all stab him? So you and Corey stabbed him too? Alright. How many times do you think you stabbed him?
I stabbed him one time. He left me and Corey at the house to clean it up.
He also said that the deceased brothers had witnessed Rhodes, also known as Rambo, kill a man named Christopher Jones earlier that month.
And they seen somebody just falling in the street, and they said Rambo's like at the street and shot him. And Maurice, he was a getaway driver, so he was driving.
During his trial, Rhodes claimed the prosecutors were framing him.
The prosecution is known for falsifying and altering documents about evidence. On May 24, 2016, an informant suspect, Anjuan Carter, was detained and questioned. So he told detectives that allegedly a double homicide took place in my home, 763 North Height Avenue, Apartment 2, Louisville, KY. So detectives called for a search warrant and searched my home. They searched for hours. They applied Blue Star chemical solution all throughout the house. They looked and looked and they found no such evidence of any type of crime. In fact, officers stated how clean the apartment was. They also stated that the carpet had clean solution on it, and yet nothing was still found when they applied Blue Star chemical reaction.
He even suggested that police planted evidence in his home.
So they clear the scene and they leave for 1 hour and 20 minutes. They leave for 1 hour and 20 minutes. They come back and they research the home at 23:56 until 02:14 hours. Now all of a sudden they claim to find blood on the carpet. So the same carpet they just searched the first time that was clean, and now it allegedly has blood on it. See, to sum everything up, detectives were told numerous lies and fabrications by the informant, and they were led on a wild goose chase by someone who made up a story who just thought just so they can get out of jail.
If that wasn't enough, Rhodes' lawyer suddenly quit because of an alleged spitting incident between the two.
Nice cheap shot. You a coward. Nice cheap shot.
Due to that incident and a history of misdemeanors in prison, Rhodes was strapped to a chair and wore a spit mask in his next court appearance.
Mr. Rhodes, you can just bring him up right here.
Why y'all have me come out like this for?
I think you know why.
What?
You know exactly why. Now, listen, stop talking. Have been.
God.
Are you done?
No, I ain't done.
You've been charged in the 4th degree. I'm going to keep talking because I don't want to have to see you back here for this.
But that did not stop his misconduct. After a profanity-filled rant, Rhodes tried to intimidate Judge Amber Wolf by threatening to find out where she lived.
Where you live at? What you think at? None of that. I ain't do.
So you're saying you're going to find out where I'm out?
None of that. You got something, I'll be out.
The threats got Rhodes hit with additional charges of terrorist, threatening, and intimidating a participant in the legal process.
That was a threat against the court. I think that I'm asking the county attorney's office to take that into account.
But that's not all. In his next court appearance, Rhodes accused another judge of having an intimate relationship with the prosecutor.
I don't know if y'all got some type of relationship going on or what y'all got going on, but I'm definitely gonna speak my mind.
Detective Tatelli and I have no relationship.
Now I'm talking about you and a prosecutor over there, sir.
He even called the judge a racist, much to the shock of his own attorney.
Are you some type of racist? Or y'all got some type of relationship going on? Which one is it? Huh? Are you a secret Ku Klux Klan member?
No, sir.
Is that what you really are?
No.
Okay.
Rhodes did not make many friends in court.
But then another part of it is, if we have a concern, the pros and the cons. Ma'am.
Stop it. Look at me.
Ma'am.
It was a violent, split-second decision.
I flipped out. I couldn't take it no more.
Marie Wren lunged toward the man accused of stabbing her sons to death and burning their body.
Lock me up! Lock me up! Lock me up! Let me get me! Let me sit!
Ain't nobody gonna sit in court and hold their composure and have a demon turn around and laugh about them killing your kids. It's just not gonna work for anybody.
And was ultimately convicted of all charges and sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murders of Larry Ordway, Maurice Gordon, and Christopher Jones. While Brice Rhodes' clash with his judges will forever be legendary, what happens when the judge throws a defendant out of court?
Yeah. You f***ing
Like in the case of Alan McCarty, who was charged with making death threats to a judge in Daytona Beach, Florida.
You wanna take my kids from me and act like that? You and that.
On September 29, 2017, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office received a disturbing phone call.
Communications, Warhurst.
Yeah, I want to report a crime that's about to happen.
What do you mean a crime that's about to happen?
Yeah, there's about to be a crime that's going to happen if my kids don't come back to me, you stupid. Because your stupid judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I got a gun pointed at your building.
Sir, what is going on?
Who the are you calling, sir, you stupid? Where's your judge warrant at? You gonna bring that out in handcuffs and I'm gonna execute that right in the street.
Where are you at, sir?
Mother, I just told you I'm outside of her building waiting for her to get there in the morning. I'm gonna pop a cap in that, you stupid.
The man was later identified as 35-year-old Alan McCarty Jr., who falsely accused the circuit judge, Stasha Warren, of taking his children away in a previous child custody case. Months later, McCarty appeared in court to answer for his crimes. McCarty spent every moment in court with profanity-filled rants at his pretrial hearing, so Judge Matt Foxman gave him a warning.
I'm going to tell you to be quiet, and you need to be quiet. There's not going to be a second time. If there's a second time, I'm going to duct tape.
But that seemed to trigger him even more.
I'm going to tell you, you just threatened my life to duct tape me. Did everybody just hear that? You just threatened to duct tape me? Really? In the courtroom, a judge just threatened to duct tape me.
I said
you just said on record you're going to duct tape me.
McCarty continued to disrupt the proceedings.
No, I refuse. No, I refuse. I refuse. He threatened to duct tape me.
When his trial began, McCarty was back to his belligerent best.
No, I'm not. I'm not under oath.
All right, raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you in.
I'm not under oath.
That's your bad finger. I didn't appreciate that.
I am not under oath. This is being done unconstitutionally. Y'all took my kids unrightfully. You want to allow my witnesses here. You won't allow my paperwork. Y'all took all my court paperwork. And when they all come in here, I'm going to say the same thing. So quit wasting my time and bring them in.
Holly, make sure you take down what I say. He was sworn in.
No, I was not sworn in.
Yes,
I've never been sworn in this court. Bring the camera back. He's making this up.
He's representing.
He is making this up. I was never sworn in. I have not been sworn in at all. You're a liar.
Judge Foxman calmly asked McCarty if he wanted to be present in the courtroom.
Number one, I need to know whether or not you want to be here during the trial process.
No.
All right. Do you want to testify though?
No, I don't. This is all being done unconstitutionally, unrightfully. Y'all are you ain't allowing my evidence. You ain't allowing my people.
We haven't started the trial yet.
It doesn't matter. You still deny it.
But the foul-mouthed defendant continued to insult the judge and his staff.
My daddy owns the building and I look like a idiot, huh? Brought your dress today, you little prick. You wanna take my kids from me and act like that? You in that? You loud with me? Is that what you're gonna do?
No.
Well then do it again, come on. Shut the up, I'm trying to think over here.
Unsurprisingly, McCarty was removed from court and sat in a separate room.
Other room. It's done. Yes, sir. Now we're going to run that through.
Take all my paperwork so I can't show these people? You want to take all my paperwork from me? Lock me in a cell naked all night?
However, that room was not soundproofed.
Mr. McCarty has chosen to voluntarily absent himself as opposed to doing other. Sorry, we got to deal with it, folks. I've chosen that room as opposed to duct taping. He can watch and hear what we're doing.
Eventually, McCarty was found guilty of threatening a sitting judge. McCarty returned for sentencing the following month, showing no remorse.
We're also here on an order to show cause, which I would like to address first. First of all, you're before the court, Mr. McCarty, to show cause why I should not hold you in contempt for behavior that you demonstrated during the jury trial. Number one, you threatened the unborn child of the prosecutor directly in an open
What a
court.
bunch of guys, you stupid piece of
Then also,
You threatened my life, you
in the
you
back room.
Suck my
Needless to say, McCarty was once again sent to the back room.
No, I'm not standing. Not resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm just not standing up. I'm not standing. I don't have to stand. I hope you fall on that baby's head, you stupid never threaten that bitch. Bring play back the shit, you stupid mother. Yeah, keep looking at me, boy.
Where he continued his profanity-filled rants from behind a mirror.
And additionally, because I know you can hear me in the back room.
Get out! Get the out of here! Don't you pull on me! Get out! I'll get up, you mother. Don't be around!
Ultimately, Alan McCarty was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his threats to kill a judge.
These are a bunch of here. No. No, you're not taking my fingerprints. I'm not going to let you. That's right. Don't touch me, and don't never touch my kids. Give me my law paperwork.
While Alan McCarty's explosive courtroom actions certainly didn't earn him any brownie points, what happens when a defendant gives the judge a piece of his mind?
Yeah, you're a tough guy.
He's a maggot, punk. You should have died when you was a baby. Maggot.
Anytime, Mr. Gaines.
Shut up, punk.
Like in the case of Michael Gaines, who was in a Kansas courtroom facing charges of assaulting a police officer.
All the evidence shows that you deliberately.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I know
The
you
words
did.
were that you deliberately were hawking up.
Bullshit. I didn't hawk up no saliva, okay?
According to reports, Gaines, who was HIV positive, allegedly spat on an officer during a prison fight while incarcerated at the Sedgwick County Jail. Gaines was convicted on 2 counts of battery of a law enforcement officer. At his sentencing, Gaines faced District Judge Rebecca Pilshaw, and things went off to a rocky start.
We do respect authority. You're not respecting my authority.
You're not respecting me, okay?
No,
Respect goes both ways. You're just a woman with a robe on. You're a woman, human being, just like I am, okay?
You really think it's appropriate to cuss here in court?
Do you think it's appropriate to sentence me under this racial program you got going here you call justice? Justice. Yeah, okay, justice.
Gaines claimed that he was being framed.
You're gonna believe those lies. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't hawk up no saliva. You're gonna believe a lie because they wearing uniform.
Judge Pilshaw tried to take control, but Gaines was just getting started.
Wearing a uniform, right? Rogue deputy.
Look at me.
Just like Eagle. You ain't gotta scream at me. You gonna raise your voice at me?
Oh my God.
You raise your voice to me, I raise my voice to you. You just in a row.
However, Gaines kept the worst for prosecutor Kevin O'Connor, who bore the brunt of his outburst.
I appreciate Mr. Gaines making my point for me.
You punk.
Very well received.
Maggot mother.
And I don't think I have to take insults from.
I know. You. You's a. You's a.
He's a tough guy now.
You's a.
But I think.
You's a. You'll be a. After I get sentenced, punk.
I think Mr. Gaines has forfeited to me.
I'm ready to go. I was ready to go. You punk.
Finally, the judge had had enough and asked deputies to remove Gaines. However, the defendant still had some choice words left.
I'm talking.
You.
Take out of the courtroom.
You's a maggot.
Yeah, you're a tough guy.
You's a maggot, punk. You should have died when you was a baby. Maggot.
Anytime, Mr. Gaines.
Shut up, punk. You's a maggot. Should have died when you was a baby. Stillborn.
Ultimately, Michael Gaines was sentenced to 13 years in prison for his troubles. While Michael Gaines didn't pull any punches in the courtroom, what happens when a defendant threatens to beat up a judge?
Sir, I'm holding you in contempt for what you
I don't
did.
really give a what you're holding me in.
Bring him in. I'm holding him in contempt.
Next, we head to the bond court in Louisville, Kentucky. 36-year-old Michael Ray was appearing on charges of terroristic threatening and second-degree assault. Prosecutors requested a $25,000 bail based on the crime and Ray's criminal history.
County's requesting $25,000 full cash behind all charges. Looks like the alley.
You think that's funny?
I think that's hilarious.
Your Honor, I think.
All right, so bond is $50,000. No bail credit.
Not impressed by Ray's sassy attitude, Judge Smith doubled his bond.
He's lucky I didn't hold him in contempt. Yeah. Thinks these are funny charges.
But Ray was not done.
Bring him in. I'm holding him in contempt.
Ray not only cussed at the judge, but also flipped her the bird off camera.
30 days to serve on contempt for flipping me off twice.
But things only got worse.
Sir, I'm holding you in contempt for
I
what you
don't really
did.
give a what you're holding me in.
And so.
You're just making it worse, man.
You shut up. Man, you
All right, you can take him back. 100 days to serve.
100 days
I don't
to serve?
care.
Okay.
Yep.
For what? Because of 2 EPOs and a criminal mission case?
He's done.
And if you thought a 100-day jail sentence would stop Ray, you're they're mistaken.
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Can we bring him back?
He's
I want
gotta
to
be
charge
charged.
What started with a couple of charges and a $25,000 bond ended up being 10 serious charges and a bail amount of $75,000.
He's special. He really is. It took a lot of convincing just getting him.
While Michael Ray ended up biting off more than he could chew, how does it compare to having a full-blown courtroom meltdown? Next, we head to the Common Pleas Court in Paynesville, Ohio, for the sentencing of 32-year-old Manson Bryant.
This is case number 18, State of Ohio versus Manson M. Bryant.
8 months earlier, Bryant and a co-defendant broke into a man's home and robbed him of cash and valuables at gunpoint. Bryant's co-defendant pleaded guilty, while Bryant went to trial and was eventually convicted of robbery, abduction, and weapons charges. Now, at his sentencing, Bryant appeared before Judge Eugene Lucci, who was a familiar face.
The last time before this time that I had him, I put him in prison for 4 years for a robbery. He acted out briefly on his way out of the courtroom, and I just let it go.
Bryant was given an opportunity to speak on his behalf. He begged Judge Lucci for a second chance.
For you to give me a mere opportunity to still make something out of my life, sir. I don't want to die in prison, sir. I'm not a bad person, sir. I do have a drug problem. You know, I've been in front of you multiple times. I respect you. I respect the decision that you made.
Finally, it was time for the defendant to learn his fate.
Court sentences you on count 3 aggravated robbery for a total of 22 years.
Now, if you thought Bryant was truly remorseful for his crimes, you were mistaken. First, Bryant seemed to be confused after Judge Lucci handed out a hefty prison sentence. Then, out of nowhere, Bryant exploded.
Court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution.
Your courtroom, you your courtroom, man. Racist is you is man. 22 years. You ain't nigga. Gay surgeon, lethal surgeon told me about that bullshit.
Actually, you know, remember when I said that you had or something?
You'll never give me probation.
Wait a minute.
You'll never give me a chance.
When I said that you had a certain amount of remorse, I was mistaken. Court determines that maximum imprisonment is needed, so it's 11 years on count 1, 11 years on count 3.
You ain't shit. Calm down, bro. Let me up the courtroom, man. Take him out. Hey, just take him out. Just take him out. Get out of here. That shit bull. Get out. Hey, take him out, please. Take him out, please. I love you, bro. I love you, man. Don't worry. I love you, Chad.
So it's 28 years with credit for 231 days.
I don't want to hear it, man. Let me out. Let's go. Let me out.
Hold on.
I don't want to hear it. Let go. Let me out. Let him go. Let me out. Let's take him out. Let me out, man. I swear to God, turn up in this bitch.
Does counsel waive the client's presence for the remainder of the advisements I have to give?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can take them.
Hey, thank you, Dennis.
Bryant was initially given a lesser sentence, but his epic outburst made Judge Lucci reconsider.
I was giving him remorse, a certain amount of remorse in mitigation of the sentence. The defendant has shown me that he has no remorse whatsoever, and therefore the court determines that maximum imprisonment is needed.
Judge Lucci later explained the reason behind his decision.
Well, it was clear that the remorse that he was trying to portray was phony, and that he wasn't remorseful at all, and that if given the chance, if I let him loose on society, he's going to prey on other people.
Ultimately, Manson Bryant was sentenced to a total of 28 years in state prison for his crimes. While a defendant shouted his way toward the maximum punishment, what happens when you threaten to sue the judge?
You're not letting me talk. You're just dismissing me.
Get an attorney. Get an
I will, and I will sue you.
Like in the case of Brandon Alexander, who was at a Michigan civil court after being sued by a hospital over unpaid medical bills. 2 months earlier, Judge David Goggins issued a default order in favor of the hospital when the defendant failed to appear for a hearing.
So with the default judgment, sounds like you missed your date.
Yes, I showed up a day late and realized that I made a terrible mistake. I wrote down on 3 separate calendars that I had it on Wednesday. I messed up.
Now, Alexander appeared virtually after filing a motion to invalidate the default order.
The two of you talked at all? Would it help if I give you minutes to talk?
No, we're not going to come to an agreement.
Your Honor, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never had the unique curse words that were used against me prior to this case being called. So I defer to you.
Okay.
Judge Goggins initially suggested Alexander and the plaintiff's attorney, Hal Burke, amicably reach an agreement.
If I give you a chance to talk, Mr. Alexander, if you keep a calm attitude, I don't mind the two of you talking, but we can get something resolved. If not, I'll just make a decision on the default.
To be honest, he does. There is no talking with this gentleman. It's how are you gonna pay? And then when I got his office calling me, the ladies, why won't you pay? Why won't you pay your bills? Why won't you pay your bills? Why are you not paying your bills? That's all I'm getting.
Your Honor, we do nothing like that. I'd ask that you rule on the motion.
For both your sakes, I guess I'll just make a decision. Give me just a minute. I'm going to review the pleadings.
However, after seeing the situation going nowhere, the judge decided to take matters into his own hands.
You have to show me, Mr. Alexander, that there's been some type of good cause to not enter the default judgment that was given. All you've stated in your response is that you were unable to make it to court. I have to follow the court rules for everybody. It has to also state a meritorious defense. In your claim, there's been no meritorious defense stated.
Ultimately, Judge Goggins found no meritorious defense in Alexander's motion and upheld the default order.
Therefore, based upon the lack of good cause, the default still stands. Okay? Good luck to both of you.
Burke left the call, but Alexander was not done yet.
Everything's cool, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Alexander? What?
I said, that's really not cool.
Well, I have to
there's
follow
no
the court rules for everybody. Sir, I've
But
got to follow the court
what
rules.
paperwork? Can he just come out and say, I'm not asking, but I'm asking, what evidence shows that I even owe that money?
I can't talk to you about the case, okay? I've made my ruling, okay? Good luck.
Well, then, can I appeal it? Can you tell me if I have an appeal?
I can. Appeal. Get an attorney. Yep, you can appeal.
So why is my word taken?
Sir, I'm not going to argue with you. I've told you my decision.
I'm not. I'm asking a question. I get no choice, no voice?
No.
Because I'm not a lawyer and I don't have a law degree, I get no voice.
You did.
That's the freedom we have as a citizen. You're going to treat me as a lesser citizen. You're going to treat me as a lesser citizen because I don't have a law degree. My voice don't matter. You're not letting me talk. You're just dismissing me.
Get an attorney.
I will, and I will sue you for what you're doing. Okay. Unfair. Okay. Unfair.
Okay.
Unfair, Mr. Goggins, and you should be ashamed of yourself. I will, because you're saying I have less a voice because I don't have a degree.
We're all done.
You're done. I'm not done. I'm not done with...
After the epic rant, Alexander abruptly left the call and the hearing ended with the default order still in place.
I'm not done. I'm not done with...
While Brandon Alexander ultimately did not sue the judge, what happens when a defendant lashes out at the judge? Like in the case of 43-year-old Alto Miles, who was facing 4 counts of aggravated murder in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Clearly a homicidal, dangerous individual.
On April 10th, 2020, Miles fatally shot his ex-girlfriend, 35-year-old Tasha Mason, and 56-year-old Bridget Carter, in what police believed was an act out of jealousy.
That woman and the other female victim were together at their residence, provoking him with jealousy by talking about photographs of other men on Facebook, and that he had finally gotten fed up, they had gone too far, and he shot and killed the two of them.
That same day, Miles shot and murdered 28-year-old William Bowen III and 47-year-old Michael Eves outside an apartment complex. According to reports, Bowen had allegedly beaten up Miles a few days earlier, while Eves' death was an attempted cover-up.
Police say Miles shot and killed Mason and Carter at an apartment in North Avondale.
Miles initially faced the death penalty, but a judge later ruled that out, citing his mental health issues. Eventually, Miles decided to take a plea deal. Given his unpredictable behavior, Miles appeared for the hearing strapped to a wheelchair with a spit mask on his face. As his attorney read the details of the plea, Miles suddenly snapped.
Our court provisions recover a formal plea of not guilty and enter a plea of guilty to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, along with gun specifications for each one of those counts, 3-year gun specifications.
Shot my head, shot me on my head. Stab in the face, stab in the next shot.
Ms. Laughlin, is this a plea offer from the state of Ohio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Christopher A. Wagner then directly addressed Miles, but his rants continued.
All right, Mr. Miles, is that your understanding? Is that the 4 counts that you're going to plead to? Mr. Miles, we set this hearing because, Mr. Miles, I have documentation in front of you, an entry to indicate your desire to plead guilty to 4 counts of aggravated murder. Is that true?
Then, things got really crazy.
Mr. Miles, I'm going to ask this question again.
Judge Wagner gave Miles one last chance, but in return, all he got was a disturbing reaction.
Your last chance, Mr. Miles. Do you wish to plead guilty to these 4 counts of aggravated murder?
God. Come on, man, let's have to stop playing. You want to like this stuff.
Mr. Miles, I asked you intended to plead guilty to 4 counts of aggravated murder.
Skin of bronze here.
Yes or no?
Even his attorney tried to speak some sense into him, but Miles refused to stop.
Fuck y'all with me, you know, 75 million motherfuckers are paying my taxes.
Alright.
25 million
Take it back to jail. Alright. Let the record reflect Mr. Miles cannot knowingly and voluntarily plead guilty to the...
Eventually, Judge Wagner dismissed the plea and sent Miles back to jail. Another judge later ordered a second mental evaluation of Miles. His case is still ongoing. While Alto Miles exploded at a judge, what happens when the defendant faces a judge's wrath?
Well, I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison.
Like in the case of 30-year-old Camia Gamet, who was facing charges of open murder in Jackson, Mississippi.
This is one of the worst cold-blooded murders I've seen in a long time.
In May 2013, Gamet brutally stabbed and murdered her boyfriend, 38-year-old Marcel Hill, at their home in Lansing Avenue.
First-degree murder for stabbing her boyfriend, Marcel Hill, in the spring of 2012. Gamet claims it was self-defense.
Hill was reportedly stabbed 12 times and had his skull caved in with an iron pan. During the trial, the jury was presented with an overwhelming amount of evidence against Gamet and eventually convicted her of first-degree murder. At her sentencing, Gamet was given a chance to apologize by Judge John McBain, but instead, she chose to plead her defense.
Is there anything that you want to tell the court before I impose sentence? Is there anything you want to tell the victim's family who are here today?
I just want to say that I stick by the truth, which is that I did react in self-defense. I did love Marcel.
Basically at trial, the way I was portrayed, mostly everything was lies. There was a little bit of truth, but mostly I was convicted off of lies.
However, Judge McBain was not buying it.
Anything you want to tell the court about the 12 stab wounds that you did in self-defense?
The alleged 12 stab wounds?
Well, I don't think the pathologist lied about those.
No, I don't have anything further to say.
Gamet also showed no remorse when the victim's aunt, Diana Banks Joyner, took the stand.
So we, the family of Marcel, would like to thank God for the special gift that you will receive today from the judge.
Is that it?
When I finish, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. Seriously?
But the judge was having none of it.
Just talk again. I'll have my court officer put a piece of duct tape in your mouth. You understand it? Try it one more time and see what happens to your mouth. You got something else to say?
Judge McBain warned Gamet of having her mouth shut with duct tape, but the defiant defendant continued to argue.
I'm done.
Miss Sonia, get the duct tape.
I'll sit here and listen to the lies.
You know what? She's got a right to talk to the court after you murdered a relative of hers. And you're going to shut your mouth or I'm going to have some duct tape put on.
Well, you text
All right. We'll wait here for a moment so we can get her quiet.
Then, it was the prosecutor who ripped into Gamet.
We have no choice but to send her where she will also die. I can't believe she stands before you doing this morning.
Finally, before imposing the sentence, it was the judge who had the last words.
This is one of the worst cold-blooded murders I've seen in a long time. You end up ultimately hit him in the head so hard with a pan that you actually cave in the front of his skull, and then you stabbed him no less than 12 times. Tell you, you gutted him like a fish in that apartment too. You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead. I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, and if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
With that explosive ending, Camia Gamet was ultimately sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. While a judge condemned the defendant to die, how does it compare to having a complete meltdown in court? Next, we head to the bond court in Miami, Florida. Today, Judge Mindy Glazier was overseeing proceedings. Next up on the docket was Sherry Lynn, facing charges of battery and resisting arrest after violently assaulting a woman named Cynthia Cuba with a pair of pliers. Lynn appeared remotely and was represented by the public defender.
But have you ever been treated for any mental health issues?
Why don't you go yourself first?
From the very first interaction, it was evident that the defendant was in no mood to answer questions.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
I said go yourself.
Judge Glazier initially found it amusing, but eventually issued a warning.
Ma'am, I'm just trying to help you.
Ma'am, he's trying to help you, and please don't use profanity or try and disrupt my courtroom, because I don't want to be forced to hold you in contempt of court. All right, Mr. Snyder's trying to help you.
Then, the judge ordered Lynn to stay away from the woman who pressed charges against her.
And I'm ordering that you stay away from Cynthia Cuba. Do not have any contact with her, and you must stay away from her home and place of business.
This is when the defendant exploded.
As to the other case...
Who is this Cynthia Cuba? Tell me!
I you allegedly tried to hit with the pliers.
In an epic outburst, Lynn threw a profanity-filled rant at Judge Glazier.
The other case, F-15-1426, the bond on count is $5,000. It's $5,000, and count 3 is $1,000.
Judge Glazier paid no heed and set bond at $5,000. Additionally, Lynn was sent to a mental hospital to undergo psychiatric evaluation before trial.
Have a nice day, ma'am. Let's try and get you into the hospital.